Welcome to Monday Night Raw. I am a visionary. I am a revolutionary. I am.
Seth Rollins wants power and control, and it seems like he's getting it and on the verge of it since winning Money in the Bank 2025, and he has held that briefcase proudly. But as he says, this is the vision for the future. I already told you all that Seth freaking Rollins is on the top of the mountain right now. We've taken out everybody and put them down who stood in our way. Me, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed united as one is unstoppable to anyone who tries to stand in the way of the vision for the future. Hey Seth, I'm pretty sure you weren't expecting this, huh? Look, your little dog that waits at the gate is laid out, because I told you I'm the one who's still standing in all this chaos. Because if it's up to me, you're not going anywhere with the future, because it's Cero Miedo Penta's time, and I'm going to be the one to stop your plans for the future. Well, Penta, if you think you can stop the plans of progress, why don't you meet me next week in a one-on-one match, and we'll just see if you'll be able to stop me then. It's Big Bronson Reed, and he's blasting through Penta. And Big Bronson Reed is taking out Penta with those beating. And as he would get him into the ring, he nails a thunderous tsunami that shakes the entire ring and the arena. And as Bronson Reed stands tall, he's not done with Penta as he goes back up top again. And he nails a second thunderous tsunami, crushing the bones of Penta. Bronson Reed still is not done. He hits a third one. It's for the final touch, and he took out Penta. It was a trap set up most likely by Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins was supposed to face Penta, but he set the plan. He set the trap, and Bronson Reed improvised and joined and took out Penta with those tsunamis. But what is in store now for Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker? Well, we don't know, but what we do know is Randy Orton and John Cena are set to go face to face here on Friday Night SmackDown. And Cena says, "Whoa, Randy, we meet again. It hasn't been a while since Backlash, huh? You know, well, now apparently you think you deserve a rematch at my championship, but I'm telling you, you're not ready. You already got your opportunity. Now you could go back to the back of the line. Or you could just go ahead and lace up your boots like I am. Retire, go ahead and hang them up and call it quits. Because the last real champion, John Cena, has only got a couple of more days left, and I'm taking this championship home forever and never showing it, and it's never stepping foot in the WWE ever again, and no one can do anything to stop me." Well, I suppose Cody can stop you if he beats you at SummerSlam in the rematch, and it might be our last shot depending on the schedule. But if it is our last shot, Cody needs to defeat you, and he needs to bring back the championship. SummerSlam is that day, and it's staying with these people, because I swear I can speak for them when I say we don't need you to take it, and we don't want you to take it. Oh, but it's interrupted by Ron Killings and R-Truth, who scabs Cena out the ring, and he locks in the STF, and the STF is locked in, cinched and tight on John Cena on the outside, and John Cena has nowhere to go. Truth just has the STF locked in tight, but as this is going on the outside, Randy Orton is caught off guard by another surprise.
Burn it
Checkmate, Randy. You know, I saw the party you and Cena were having. I couldn't help but join to remind people that Mr. Money in the Bank is here. Mr. Visionary in the Bank is here. Well, look, I know you two boys are having a pity party, but when I join in, it's gonna be a huge problem because I have my eyes on everything. I have my eyes on Gunther's World Championship, and I have my eyes on John Cena's championship too. But if anybody's gonna be the one to dethrone John Cena, it's gonna be a visionary, a revolutionary. It's gonna be Seth freaking Rollins. We are proving that we are the most dominant force, not only on Monday Night Raw, not on Friday Night SmackDown, but in all of WWE. Anybody who steps in the way of progress will get put down with Bronson Reed or either Braun Breaker or me, myself. This is the vision for the future, and I don't know how many times I have to remind everyone. And I hold the most powerful thing at WWE at current day, the Money in the Bank contract. And I can use it on any time, and nobody is... CM Punk is here on Monday Night Raw, and he goes straight for Rollins as he slides in, and these two men go right at it, and it ultimately comes to an alternate collision as Punk will lift up Rollins and drop him with a GTS go to sleep. Punk has got the best of Rollins tonight. No Bronson Reed, no Braun Breaker, and Punk says, how about this? We do it one more time because you really can't lace my boots. Me versus you, one-on-one at SummerSlam. The challenge has been made. The final battle that will go all out for the count because it's last man standing. Grieving rivalry between Rollins and Punk has finally reached crescendo, and as Rollins and Punk will go at it, Rollins will deliver every cheap shot he can to get in control of this match, and he will nail a sling blade to ensure that he does, and he will send Punk face first into the corner and follow it up with a suicide dive, as Rollins was really on the move and not really letting Punk get any offense in this match. He was just staying on top, and he was gonna stay on top and dominate Punk, but as the first count will go on, it would reach an 8 count before Punk climbs back to his feet. But Rollins and Punk will start throwing shots at each other on the outside, both the men throwing those punches and bunches back and forth, but CM Punk would get the upper hand as Rollins was getting blocked by Punk, but Rollins eventually would try to come back, but Punk was just too much. But as eventually Punk will get him back in the ring, he was setting up for GTS, but Rollins would counter, and he drops Punk with that forearm right to the back of the neck. And Rollins was really in control, as eventually he would get Punk all on the outside for a pedigree, crashing and burning both of them through the table. And Rollins might have had to win, but he super kicks the ref. He doesn't want to stop. He wants to inflict some pain on CM Punk. He does not want Punk to ever step foot in the ring again in WWE. He wants to make sure it's over, and as he goes for the stomp, he's caught by Punk with the go to sleep GTS, an incredible maneuver that ignites the crowd with fire, and Punk might have the win right here. until Braun Breaker slips in and pulls out the ref and just tosses him onto the side. And Braun Breaker has just ruined this opportunity for Punk, but as Punk doesn't realize, Big Bronson Reed is behind him, and as he turns around, he's caught off guard with that clothesline. And as Bronson Reed goes to the top, he nails a thunderous tsunami that crushes the bones of Punk. But as they think they're in control, Braun Breaker's cut off with a halova kick by Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn coming to the aid of Punk once again. And also, he's not alone because Penta has dropped Big Bronson Reed with that springboard crossbody. But as Rollins and Punk are going at it, Punk tries to get in control again, but Rollins is just too much for Punk, and he tries to drop him, but Punk counters again, and he lifts up Rollins, has him right here. This is the closing point of the match, but Punk's back gives out, and Rollins is able to get in control and drops Punk with that pedigree again in the ring, but he also follows it up with a dynamic stomp that drops Punk in the ring. And for the count, Rollins wins the last man standing match, and it's a major upset for the crowd, and it seems like Rollins finally ends this, and his plan is just getting started. But nevertheless, what's up next is Undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship action, and Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman are keeping a close eye on the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes as he heads out to go one-on-one with John Cena. It's battle, and it's complete, absolute destruction as Cody Rhodes and Cena are going at it here on SummerSlam. And in Chicago, and as Cody is trying to wear down Cena with those punches and that combination, he drops Cena to the ground with that bionic elbow. And Cody Rhodes was in control as Cena eventually, though, would turn the tables, nailing an attitude adjustment, the first finisher of the match, but Cody would stay in it. And he tries to follow it up again, and to end this, Cena has still not changed, as the fans are saying. And as Cody would nail the disaster kick, he was fired up. What a match will really turn around, though, is Cena goes over to the timekeepers to grab the championship, but listening to the crowd, he refuses, and he goes back into the ring, and he shows off. Cena is back, the original John Cena, and he's gonna do it fair, a fair play, a fair match, as these two will go at it. And as Cena delivers the 5-knuckle shuffle right on the nose of Cody Rhodes, he has the crowd rallied behind him here in Chicago. And as Cena has Cody right where he wants him, he wants Cody to give back to his feet, but as Cody does, he lifts him up in a position for attitude adjustment, but in the split of a second, Cody Rhodes will counter and turns Cena around, and he grabs him and nails one crossroads, rolling it through for a second crossroads, and finishing it off with the trifecta to pick up the win and regain his undisputed championship. Cody Rhodes has done it, but it's actually to the boos of the crowd because they didn't want John Cena to lose this match here at SummerSlam. But nevertheless, it's World Heavyweight Championship action between Gunther and Sami Zayn. And Zayn is really putting the work in on Gunther, and you can bet this is the match that Seth Rollins has his eyes on, because as Sami is in control, he has Gunther in position for a halova kick that he nails right on the mark, and he follows it up with a Blue Thunder Bomb to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. But as Zayn will become World Heavyweight Champion, the moment is quickly ruined by a certain person. Spear from Braun Breaker out of nowhere, and Braun Breaker has set up the plan, and the plan is finna be put into play.
Burn it down!
Seth Rollins has finally done it. He's gotten what he's hoped and dreamed for. The key to the plan, and he's finally gonna burn the roster down.